Hi, everybody. Thank you for popping on the Team Eat, Sweat, Pray call of February 20th. It is the night where we're going to talk about getting your new coaches started right. So whether you are a brand new coach or you are an experienced coach, this call is super important because you will eventually be building a team if you're a new coach. And the more you know now, the better equipped you'll be when you grow your team or when you have your first coach join, and you'll know where to find your resources and what to do next and what's important to share. And I can say from personal experience, I've went from like being really great at onboarding to being really bad at onboarding to being good. And I can tell you that if you aren't onboarding your team well, you might as well not recruit, right? Like, what's the point of recruiting if you're not giving and sharing with your team what they need to be successful? And that is what's so important. So that's why I'm excited to talk tonight, because I've been, really bad and really good, right? And I feel like I'm getting into a groove, and I'm even adding some more things. That was my goal. I meet with someone from corporate every month, and I said, my goal is to get my onboarding process down into a T so it's duplicatable for my team. And so that's why I'm so excited to share with you, because I feel like I finally got my system down and I can share it with you guys. And hopefully you can use it. Are there any announcements? I know Thursday we have our 80-day obsession sneak peek call, an info call. So if you're not in the sneak peek group, get in it so you can get the link to join and invite others to join that sneak peek call. So tonight, tomorrow, you should be posting, especially if you are in the 80-day obsession, you should be posting about an 80-day obsession wave 2 group. This is an opportunity that you don't want to miss. Anything else, Christy? Nope. Okay, great. Now I'll start. Okay, helping new coaches get started right. So, and I just said this a little bit ago, but if you don't onboard well, don't bother recruiting. If you put in the time to recruit and you're not onboarding well, they're going to leave, right? They weren't supported. They didn't get what they needed. They didn't get direction. And you are setting the bar for them. So you have an opportunity when they get started to help them see their goals and help them know how to get there. And to also be a leader that's also doing those same activities, because you can't expect someone to hit Success Club if you're not hitting Success Club, right? You have to be a leader and set that bar for them. Okay, so I'm going to start from phase one, not phase one because we use that for another term, but here's a checklist that I created, and I've put this in the Google Drive for you, and I'll show you where in the Google Drive in a little bit. But this is an onboarding new coach checklist that you can print off. You probably only need one, but that way you know what order to do things. If you choose to use this, you might add it and make it your own, and I invite you to do that and make it your own. But to get started, this is where I would kind of use as an outline. So you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a set group of things that you're going to want to do within the first month. And I'm going to go through each of those. So first, they sign up. You're going to send them a welcome email. I'll give you a copy to exactly what I send. Then you're going to welcome them to the team Facebook page. So you're going to add them in, and you're going to welcome them, make them feel like they're part of this family. Then you're going to hold a GSR call. GSR call stands for Getting Started Right. These are the scariest things to do when you're a brand new coach and you have your first coach and you're like, I don't know what I'm talking about at all. And so I encourage you to, if you want to, reach out to your upline coach and they can help lead your first one with you. They're not that scary and they're actually fun. After that, you're going to send a post GSR call email, and that I'll share with you what I have. Then you're going to get them in the new Coach Basics training. Our new Coach Basics training starts the first Monday of every single month, and it's going to be that way till the end of the year. So you know that. First Monday every month. Then you're going to ensure that they host their first challenge. This is within the first month, their first full challenge. Then they're going to get into the Emerald Training Factory. So this month is a little bit different because we wanted to get the Emerald Factory training going. But and I'll share these dates again. We have the new coach training the first 2 weeks of the month. Then the third Monday, the Emerald Factory training starts. So ideally, you're streaming them through, right, the whole month. So you're giving them what they need to know to be successful. And then the next month, once they hit Emerald, or as soon as they hit Emerald, you're going to send them an Emerald About Me form, and then there'll be an Emerald to Diamond training. I'm just going to mute. Okay. So let's go through. Welcome email. This is where you're going to share with them, like, what are the next steps. So I'm just going to quickly go through this. And I have the copy listed in the Google Drive. Why don't I pull that up as well? I'll show that to you right afterwards. But anyways, I share with them in this first section, you're going to obviously want to make them feel special. Why do you think they're going to be an amazing coach? So that's the one area I encourage you to edit. You're going to share with them their coach ID. So they have that on file. Then next steps. This new coach welcome video. So if you haven't already, please watch this new coach welcome video. This is the one that they get from corporate, right? So corporate has now changed their welcome stream process. So I want ours to kind of connect so we're on the same page. So you should watch this welcome video so you know what it shares. It takes them through setting up their websites and all that kind of stuff, along with completing the new coach basics quick start. Why don't I just quickly pull up? I think I have to stop share. Okay, so then my desktop's open, and I'm not gonna, oh, darn it, I'm in the wrong one. The quick start is also Beachbody's plan. And so originally I would go through that on the calls with my new coaches. And then I was like, that's such a waste of time. Like, why would I use that phone call when I could be talking to them, getting to know them, what are their goals? Why would I do that on the GSR call? So that's something you want to send to them beforehand. Let's go in here. So follow this so you know where everything's at. Team Eat, Sweat, Pray. Recruiting. Onboarding process. So here's that checklist. So that'd be the first thing you pull out. Welcome email. And I changed this just a little bit because I have some of my own like kind of personal links in here. Okay, so, oh, did the links not stay? Maybe it's just loading. There we go. Just so you know what this is, you should be familiar with this form. You should print one off and just fill it out for yourself if you haven't. It's super basic, right? But ensuring they fill this quick start guide out. This is all stuff that they're getting from corporate. Okay, let's run back. Okay, if you haven't already connected to our team community, you're going to already hopefully invited them to the team page and added them in. But I put this here just in case for some reason I forgot, because that'd be the worst thing that could happen, right? Complete my new coach application. And this link I put in the sample that's in the drive. But what the new coach application, so you can see what I do it through Google Forms. But you can also send them, if you're not ready to do that, you can send them this About Me form. Like if you're busy and you're like, I don't have time to create a form, just send them this About Me form to fill out. It's kind of a pain because they have to print it, right? But You could just tell them to email you back with the answers, or you could just ask them those questions. But I think it's important that you get this before your GSR call so that you know more about them and what their goals are. And this is going to help you kind of pick out things that you want to talk about when you are on your GSR call. So that's why it's so important that you get these filled out prior to the call. And I don't take the calls now until they have been completed, until mine's an application that has been completed. Okay, we'll go back to this one. This is the same welcome email. Then that they've completed the new coach checklist. This is in the team page on the cover photo. The new coach checklist goes through, I'll let you go through it. I don't think I need to, but it goes through things like getting personal development book, setting up their EFT. But this way it's laid out for them and it's steps like what to do next. And then let's schedule a time to connect via video for getting started right call. Here's the thing. You want to schedule your GSR call within the first 2 to 3 days of them signing up, 1 to 3 days with them signing up. Because when you sign up, you're excited, right? You're like, oh, what's next? I want to talk about it. If you don't talk with them and get them reaffirmed with belief that this is like fun and this is an awesome tribe and that they can accomplish whatever goals they set, then stuff happens, right? And they're like, why did I sign up for this? My husband thinks it's stupid. You know, those fears and doubts start to play in their head. And so that's why it's so important that you connect with them within those first few days. And that's that one-on-one call. And then what I do is I've set up the Google Calendars, Christy. Thank you for sharing that. I used to use Acuity scheduling, and that'd be something that's free that you can do. It's ACUITY scheduling. That's free. So you could just set up, and I think it looks really professional if you send it to them and you're like, this is my schedule. These are the times that I'm available to do a GSR call. You want to plan 30 to 45 minutes. It's super easy to set up. I really encourage you to do that. If it's your first coach, that's okay. You can just message back and be like, what works? But you're going to want to get into a routine. And the sooner you start it, the better. And so that's the welcome email. Okay. Then let me go back to our slides. Welcoming them to the team page. I don't think I need to explain this too much. These are just 2 examples. Share a little bit about the person that joined, right? So that the team can get to know them. Also, if you have more than one coach joining at a time, combine them. Like, I think it's fun to see that, like, we've got so many awesome people joining the team. And so combine them. You don't have to do 2 separate posts. These are just samples. If you need examples, just go into the team page and write like new coach or welcome or something in the search bar and you'll find more. Okay, GSR call. Within the first 2 to 3 days, as I mentioned, this is kind of the bullet points of what you're going to cover. And I'm not going to go into depth because I also shared in the My Drive or in the onboarding process, kind of a skeleton. Oh, it's not here. I have it open in this one. Sorry, I got so much stuff going on here. Let's hope this one's it. Okay, I just got to title it. An outline, so what you're going to share here. So this goes more into depth. So I'm just going to go to the bullet points, but this will be in that file. So basically, the meat of your call is going to be talking to them about their why. Why do they want to do this? I encourage them usually to dig a little bit deeper. And that's just because I've had to dig deeper myself, and I've realized like the things that really keep me going are the things that this is for me, right? And like I know I have a bigger purpose in life, and I want to be able to be an example to Charlotte of a hardworking mom that that gets to make an impact on other people's lives, and that I know I have a big purpose, right? And I just want to fulfill that purpose. So you want to go into depth about what your why is. And I usually do that before I ask them about their why, so that it makes them open up and feel comfortable. So you're going to talk to them about their why. And then these are key things that you want to do on the call. Set the dates for their first challenge group. Put them on the calendar. Then you want to talk to them about Success Club. What is Success Club? Their goal in the first 30 days is to hit Success Club 6. Why? You want to share with them how and why. Why do they want to do this? Because they need that initial success. Like when you get that success, it keeps you going, right? Like when something good happens, you're like, you want to keep going. And this shows that like they're growing their business, and they want to continue to do that every month because it keeps their challenge groups fresh. It adds new people in. And so you're going to want to talk about why there is the importance of Success Club. And I encourage you, like, I'm not going to go into depth here, but go to YouTube. Why do I want to hit Success Club, right? Like those are all things that I've had to Google before when I've started leading things like this as well. Why do you want to hit Success Club? And then the second thing is talking to them about within the first 30 days, advancing to Emerald. That should be their goal. Honestly, they could probably do it in 2 weeks. And I think you should share that. Why? Because sometimes when we put this like bar, if we set the bar like Emerald is so far away or Diamond is so far away, then that's what you believe, right? So you get to set the bar for your coaches. And usually like you're going to want to talk to them about like, okay, who could be their first 2 coaches? Maybe their mom or their sister. Like who are going to be those first people that are going to support them and want to be a part of them? Maybe it's their spouse, right? If they're business builders, that's key. They want to have their spouse in that weak leg spot right below them. So you want to talk to them about Emerald. Remember, you set the bar. And then spending time doing the 4 vital behaviors. So briefly covering what the 4 vital behaviors are, just so they know. Because I think it was Brianna. I think we were talking and I was like, I don't think I covered that with you. Maybe it was Success Club. I don't remember what it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, how do you not know? I didn't share that with you. You know, we get to share the most important things with them. And I could not believe that I had missed that. So that's why have an outline and decide these are the things you're going to cover, and don't go so long on the whys that you can't cover these other important things, because they are important. They need to know, right? Like set the expectation for them. Okay. And then the post GSR email, and this one I'm going to pull up as well on the link. And this is kind of just a follow-up. Because you talked about so much, how are they going to remember? Okay. One thing I always encourage now is to always have an action item. Every time you leave a new coach, always have an action item. What is the next step? Right? Let them know, like, what's the next step? Is it going to be to make a list? Is it going to be, I want you to reach out to 25 people and invite them before our next call, things like that. So in this email, that's what I share. I said, every time we chat, I like to have an action item. My role is your mentor and to help you be successful. In order to be successful, you need to be coachable. I will wait back to hear from you before I give you the next steps in the training. And that's something that I've learned because I've had a lot of people that I've spent a lot of time and love on, and they weren't doing anything that I was sharing. And so my time away from my family, it wasn't well spent because they weren't even listening, right? Or they weren't coachable. And so that's kind of where I'm at now, is like, the ball is in their court. Do the action item and follow up with me, and we'll move on to the next steps. You set the pace for our mentorship relationship. And remember, it's a mentorship, and that I share on the Getting Started Right call as well. Like, I'm not your boss. Like, ew, right? We're business partners. We're friends. And I'm just here to mentor you and share what's worked for me. I want to be there and help you answer questions and all of that. But you are in control of your own business. and they're going to do amazing. So reaffirming that. So the first action item that I give them is to start making a list, right? Because that's usually people get so excited and then they don't have a list of who they're going to invite to anything, and ask them to send a snapshot back. And then I also am doing power calls with my new personally sponsored coaches. So that's another thing you might want to consider doing. And I found that very successful. I feel like the time that I've spent with all of the coaches that I've done power calls with has been so good. We get to know each other better. We kind of know what the next steps are. And we do those weekly, but you can decide what you have time for. First month goals. So I'm just reaffirming or sharing again what we talked about on the call. The full challenge group, Success Club, Emerald. And then I give links, and these are Beachbody links, like what is Success Club? Just as a reminder, what does it mean to go Emerald? And then share the 4 vital behaviors. So it's just giving that information in text again. And then I give the tidbits of the National Wake Up Call, the Team Eat, Sweat, Pray calls, because most likely I forgot to share that on our call. So I want them to have that information. I want people to be on the team calls every night, right? Like the people that show up to the team calls, I'm like, you're in it. And I know some people have stuff going on, but I'm like, I know you're in it because you come every week and we get this like excitement going again, because we need each other to stay motivated. And that's what these are all about. And then I talk about the new coach training, first Monday of every month, and then the power calls. And so this is super cool. I've set up on Google Calendar. So some of you who I do power calls with, I'm going to be sending these to you. But you reserve a spot. So that way the ball is in their court, or if like there's a week where they can't have a call, they're traveling, like we all are on the same page. So that's kind of a cool feature. And you could do that through Acuity scheduling too. And here's the thing. I'm going to go back to my thing. I think we get like in a groove, right? And I think the sooner you get into a groove, whether if you have just one new coach starting, do this. Because then when you have 5 coaches starting, you've already done this once. You've already have your calendar set up for all of those calls. It takes a little bit of time to set up the structure, but it makes it so worth it. Okay, and then the new coach training, I covered this. So the first 30, it starts the first Monday of every month, and it's 12 days long that leads to the Emerald Factory. We talked about that already. Now, this is something I did a 5-day Busy Girl New Coach Quick Start. Some of you might have been in that group. And I was like, how could I repurpose some of this content? So if I have new coaches and they want to get started or learn a little bit more, I'm just going to add them into that group. So that's another way for them to like get started if like the new coach training is 3 weeks away and they want to get started right away. It's not necessary, but it is something where you could just create 5 videos and be like, today we're going to talk about Success Club. Today we're going to talk about the 4 vital behaviors. Just everything that you already shared. But the more you hear it, the more it like sticks in you, right? And talking about your why. If you want to see what I cover in that group, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm like, I want to reuse this because I spent time on it. Just let me know and I can add you into that group. Okay, so host a full challenge. This is easy, right? I share with my new coaches, you can either 1, apprentice with me, and that's where I lead the group, but you're a coach apprentice in it. Number 2, team up with another coach on the team. Or number 3, host your own. So those are the 3 options for their group. And I even say, like, if you decide you want to change your mind the day before and you want to apprentice with me, let's do it. Like, that's totally cool. And then the Emerald Factory. So that starts the 3rd Monday of every month. And you guys, the content in it is awesome. If you are in the group and you haven't had a chance to get to it, I totally encourage you to, because it is challenging me. It's awesome content that we got from a great resource that everybody should be doing. And I have to confirm these dates with Crystal. I always say Sindel and Christy. I combine you guys. With them to make sure March 12th works. We had talked about it and I wanted to have something on here, but that's the plan, is we're going to be getting into the Emerald to Diamond training. And that's something we want to continually do. You normally do them every quarter, but we're going to be getting into the groove with that. So that covers kind of that first phase. And what a good guideline that someone shared with me is, once your coach is a success starter, that's where they've hit Success Club the first 3 months. That's when you know you've done your job, right? They're on, they get it, they know what's going on. And I know now that when I have a new coach join, I want to know that I gave them everything that I could, the resources, right? And I even feel like in those emails, those resources are good. And in our team training, those resources are good. We were at New Leader Conference, and they said one of the biggest complaints that they get from coaches calling in is that they didn't get the support from their upline. I don't want that to be the case for anybody on our team, and I don't feel like it is. But you have a responsibility when you recruit and you invite someone to the team to show up. And you feel like you don't have the leadership. You do. You just got to start with this, and then you can make it your own. But this is kind of a good outline or skeleton that you can use to make it be something for them, right? Anyways, does anybody have any questions? Go.
Can't reach my unmute button. I loved all of that. Thank you for sharing it. And I was wondering about, because it's kind of an area that I'm struggling with. I'm onboarding a lot of coaches right now.
Yep.
And they're all kind of like, they're coaches and they want to do it, but they're not like committed to doing it. So what I'm trying to figure out is like, okay, they signed up for the coach discount for sure. They're still pondering the coaching thing. Do you keep following up with them, or do you say, like, let's do the getting started right call, figure out where they're at, get them, like I always announce them on the team page and do all of that. But that's been my biggest problem is I let people fade off because they're like kind of excited, but then they don't really engage, and then they just like disappear.
Yep.
So what would you do? Like, at what point do you say, okay, we'll follow back up and re-invite you to the coach training, or do you do that for everyone? Because I know we're moving away from discount coach.
Right. Yep. Getting away from the discount coach makes it easier to know, right? And I feel like if I don't hear anything back, like I had sent, if I don't hear anything back, then I'll probably follow up within 5 days, right? Like from that first email. But that email, the ball's in their court. If they don't schedule a GSR call, I'm not going to do a GSR call, because that's 45 minutes of my time, right? Like if you had 5 coaches that wanted to do GSR calls. And so that's where you have to say 45 minutes. Where is my time best allocated? And so I'll follow up once and say, hey, just want to make sure you got this email. If you want to move on to the next steps, hey, I'm here for you. I'm ready when you're ready to get started, but the ball's in your court, and that's the mentality that like I used to not have. And I felt like I kept turning my wheels, and I want to spend my time with business builders, the people that want to do this, because time is valuable. And I feel like I realize that now as a mom, that you have to put like that value on your time. So if they're not running with it and you're giving them the resources and say, hey, let's schedule the GSR call, then I would follow up once and kind of call from there. And then, you know what, you might even want to follow up, because, some of this I'm learning as well. You might want to follow up in 2 months, say, hey, what's the status? But you know what, sometimes coach trainings, right? Some people are going to fall off, right? Like I'm terrible about coach trainings. I didn't do a coach basics training ever. So don't use that as a guideline. Some people will use them and they'll be awesome and they're going to get jump started faster than others. But I think it's getting them into the, hey, let's host this group together, get 3 people. Let's all get 3 people. And that's kind of what got me started, was like, I just teamed up with a few people and said, let's get 3 people. Right. So I sometimes put like, oh man, nobody's participating in the training. And I think that is really important, because you're going to get way more information way faster and you're going to be ahead of everybody else. Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't it doesn't mean they don't want to coach.
Right. Thank you. April just asked the question about talking more about what you mean by getting away from the discount coach.
Oh, yeah. So we have last fall, there was a training we did that was on the Emerald Tribe, creating your Emerald Tribe, 500 PV tribe, and it's focusing more on volume. And so where that came from is that you can be, usually in your mind, you think of diamond coach and you're like, that's when like you're earning a good income and everything's awesome. You can be a diamond coach making $50 a month. I think that was the number. And so why? Because people sign up just discount coaches and they think that that's helping them grow their business because that's how we were trained. That is how we were trained when we first started. But ultimately, the goal is to build a tribe, right, of people that want to do this with you. And so, yes, there are times when I still offer the discount, especially like the North Dakota discount, and I use it as a segue. But I'm more protective of that in the sense that I only want some people as discount coaches. I want to be focusing on hobby coaches, business builder coaches that want to bring in volume, because a discount coach is better as a customer to you a lot of the times. You're doing them a favor for the discount, which is good. We should be doing favors, right? And that sounds bad, but you're also building a business. And if you offer that to everyone, then a lot of your time is you're not being paid for the time that you're giving. Does that make sense? You want to be focusing more on volume and people who are building a business who contribute volume so that you start earning team cycle bonuses, in that sense, because the discount coaches don't help you as much. They help. There's volume there, but not as much. Anything else you want to add to that, Christy?
Yeah, I guess that was a pretty good cover. And if that makes sense, like you don't get, a commission rate on a discount coach. You only get, you get volume, which is big, like Kate said, but if they're never going to coach and they're never going to continue to add volume, even as a hobby coach, then you're better off kind of getting that income and signing people who want to. And I think the other piece of that was that when we allow people to go in and say, I'm just going to be a discount coach, they get in their mind that that's all that they're going to be, because they think that's all you believe that they can be. And the reality is that's not true, right? And I've been guilty of that. Like I have some women who I know would be amazing coaches, but I was like, oh, they're not going to want to do it. I'm just going to offer them the discount. And then they think in their mind they could never do what I'm doing because I haven't instilled that belief in them. So we're basically just talking, like if you watch any of our sneak peeks, we're just not really talking about the discount coach.
Yep.
Like either you want to jump on our team and help people or not.
Right. And I think a big reason is because we ask discount because of fear. We're too scared to ask them if they want to be a business builder. And then really you're only holding them back from this awesome opportunity. And then it's holding, it's like crazy because they do have it in their mind that they're just a discount coach. So for me, it was that like initial safe, I'm just going to invite her to be a discount coach, right? And that's going to build my team because I'm too scared to ask you to be a business builder coach. And so it's getting over that fear too.
And then they jump over and start selling something else because you didn't believe that they were capable of helping people. It's literally the most insane thing. I think 90% of my discount coaches jumped off into another MLM.
Or they quit and then you see them sign up with another coach as a coach and you're like, why didn't I invite them to the coaching opportunity? Anyways, we've learned a lot. Any other questions? Anything that scares you? No. Sorry if I didn't onboard any of you like super well.
I do have a question.
Yes. Yeah.
I've been listening, I promise. So I have a couple of coaches that I didn't onboard well. where should I plug them back in now? Should I get them to start back with Coach Basics or jump into Emerald Factory?
I would reach out to them and I'd say, I like the honesty thing and being like, hey, I feel like I didn't onboard you the way that I wish I would have. And I'd say like, I want to be there for you, and give them kind of like that, why would they be awesome? And say, what do you want to do next? Kind of let them guide you and say, I have this option. We could do a getting started right call. We could do just a call. You might not want to call it getting started right. Or we could just get you right into the Coach Basics, if they didn't do the Coach Basics training before. But if you feel like they'd be ready for Emerald, you could say, but I actually think you could start in the Emerald area already if they know about Success Club and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anybody else? Questions? No? Kathy, can you hear me? Oh, now you're off mute, but I can't hear you. Well, we can't hear you. Anyways, I just wanted to say hi. Okay, guys, thanks for popping on. If you have questions, if you want to get into any of those groups, or if you see something on those emails that you're like, like I just copied and pasted mine, let me know, and I'm happy to share whatever with you. Okay, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.